In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Hahnemühle Iconic Notebook. I'll go over the specs, I will do a paper test, and I'll tell you what I like and don't like about this notebook coming up. So this is the Hahnemühle Iconic Notebook. This is Hahnemühle's top-of-the-line notebook. It goes for $128. It only comes in an A5 size, and it only comes in dot grid. Now, your options for this notebook are taupe leather or black leather. That's it. Those are the only variations of this particular notebook. Now, they do make a cheaper notebook called the Manuscript, which is $72, and that has the same guts as this, the same interior, the same binding, but it uses a recycled leather cover. I had one of those, and it's so plasticky, it's just, to me, it's unpleasant. The cover is just, I don't know, it's a nasty material. So for $72, I would not recommend that. I would recommend just going up to the Iconic if that price, isn't too much of a gut punch, because this is quite an expensive notebook. Now, for those of you that don't know Hahnemühle, I've done a review of their Diary Flex notebook, and I've since started carrying those at the Papermind. Those are really nice, affordable, very well priced notebook. This is the other end of the spectrum. So let's walk through it. We have this pebble grain leather cover here. It's obviously an embossed leather, but it smells like leather. It's nice to the touch. It is a flexible, soft cover here. It has a really nice feel to it and, a premium appearance. It is completely plain. There's no, creasing or anything on there. On the back, we can see the Hahnemühle debossed in there on the bottom, but that's pretty much it. There is no gold or silver foil around the edges. I would have liked to see that. We do get a nice looking headband and footband here with also a nice ribbon bookmark in a gray color. Opening it, we have a laid paper for the paste down, and you can see Hahnemühle fine art with a rooster, and it says 1584 because that's supposedly their origins of some version of this company. Quality, made in Germany. Place for your name here. And then we have a little spiel here on the Hahnemühle history here, signature from the CEO. And then we go right into the dot grid pages here. In the back, again, we just have that laid paper paste down, and that is really it. Now, looking at the pages here, we have a very heavy gray dot grid. It is a 5mm dot grid. We do have a nice margin in the middle, similar to what I do for my Papermind notebooks, is I make the margin in the binded edge a little bit wider than on the outer edge. So they did that here. That was thoughtful. And it's a pretty big margin, which you do need because, this isn't like the most lay flat notebook. There's still some quote unquote throw up from the book block here. Now we can see it is stitched. They are 16-page signatures. It's a very good quality binding. It is flexible. It's just not as pliant, as a Papermind notebook, but I still have found it to be very comfortable to write on. What we get is 192 pages of Hahnemühle's watermarked paper. This is a smoother paper than what's in the Diary Flex notebook. I do think it is a little bit nicer to write on. Both are actually really nice papers, but I think the smoothness versus the heavier texture on the other one, this is a less polarizing. We have a really nice watermark here, which I can't quite show. It just shows their rooster and shield. It's a very nice quality paper. Now, going to the paper test here, the face of this looks very good. We do get a little bit of feathering from this extremely wet Pilot 2.4mm pen, but everything else, the face of it looks really, really quite nice. We interestingly have some sheen on the Pilot 6mm there. And then if we flip over to the back here, really there is zero bleeding from pretty much all of the regular pens. The only ones I would say is the Autohoot Fude Ball 1.5mm. I can see it trying to come through but not fully penetrating. Pilot Parallel 2.4, this really wet pen. I do see it spotting in just a couple areas, but the other fountain pens, zero issues. The Troublemaker pens did bleed through, but if you notice, they didn't make it to the other page. It's very good performance, very fountain pen friendly. Do I recommend the notebook? I think I like this. This is much, much better than a Montblanc notebook. It is comfortable to write in. I use this as a journal for a couple of months, and it is very nice. So I would say, you know, if you're okay with the dot grid, this, and you don't mind the price, this is a really nice luxury journal. So what are my pros and cons for the Hahnemühle Iconic Notebook? Well, I think we have a very high quality build here with a strong stitched binding, a nice, you know, luxurious feeling leather cover, and beautiful watermarked paper that is very fountain pen friendly. So overall, it's a really nice product to use. In terms of cons, the biggest one is going to be the price, $128. That's a lot for this. I don't think it has quite as unique and maybe premium a feeling as a Smythson Panama notebook. However, it gets really close to it. And if you told me I want a Smythson Panama but with white paper, I think this is the closest that we've come to that. Now the paper is way thicker, it's 100 GSM. The paper also only comes in dot grid, and it's a pretty heavy dot grid. I would have went for a lighter one. So you're pretty limited on options for this. But overall, it's well made. The other thing I would say is it doesn't lay quite as flat as I typically like. That binding does resist a bit, so you do have some, you know, throw up to the book, but it wasn't something that I really found particularly uncomfortable. I was able to write with my italic nibs, no problem. So overall, this is a really nice notebook. I think the main thing for people is going to be the price. It is a lot. Yeah. But that's pretty much it. Do you guys have this notebook? Do you like this notebook? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more fountain pen, paper, and ink videos, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much, and until next time.